lot of people believe that there is only a few ways to invest, and that's through the stock market, cryptocurrency, or even real estate. But there's another lane, one that the wealthy have been using for decades. It's called private lending. One of the most underrated, high-earned, consistent income plays that you've probably never heard about before. Here's how it works. Instead of buying an asset, you become the bank. You lend money to small businesses who need capital, and in return, you earn what's called interest income. And that interest income is oftentimes 2 to 3 times higher than the traditional stock market investments. But I will tell you this, you must need a lot of capital up front to invest in this asset class, as well as separately having a diversified portfolio to minimize your personal risk. But the best part about this is you're not just guessing on price swings, just like in the stock market. You're earning steady, predictable cash flow that's backed by real contracts. So today, we're gonna break down how lending to small businesses work and how you can do it the right way safely. The opportunity in private lending. Every business that I know needs capital to grow. But here's the thing, everyone doesn't get approved by a traditional bank. A lot of traditional banks have very strict requirements whenever they're underwriting loans. They have strict requirements and look at metrics like credit score, collateral, years in business, liquidity, cash flow, and so much more. And even though these traditional lenders are minimizing risk by looking very detailed into these small businesses, it does leave a lot of them underfunded. And what gets me the most is a lot of these businesses are very profitable and doing very well in their industry. But here's the thing, that's where private lenders step in. They fill the gap between banks and business owners, which provides a very small niche of the market that needs funding. And the types of loans that private lenders offer is short-term and long-term growth loans. And for investors that are in this market, that means a lot of opportunity is on the table. You earn between 10 to 20% annualized returns simply by lending to businesses who need capital. And what this does is it provides them with flexibility. It's not necessarily a handout. It's a win-win. Businesses get funded and you get constant income. By the way, earlier, whenever I was talking about diversifying your personal income to minimize risk, I forgot to mention that in this video, I talked about how you can make income 7 different ways. And multiple streams of income is how the ultra high net worth makes money and accomplishes their financial goals. All right, now let's pivot back to private lending and the steps to accomplish this. Step number 1, understanding the private lending model. Private lending is simple at its core. You loan money to small businesses who need capital and they pay you back with interest, just like a bank. Think about this as an investment into future cash flow, not speculation. You're not betting on the rise of stock prices or property appreciation. You're earning money through a contractually agreed payment. Unlike banks, private lenders can customize deals. You could have shorter terms, flexible repayment options, or even profit sharing agreements. You decide the rate, the collateral, and also the timeline. And that control is what makes the private lending industry so powerful. You're not chasing returns, you're designing them strategically. Step number 2, evaluating borrowers. Now, this is where a lot of beginners get things wrong. High returns means nothing if the borrower can't pay you back. I mean, you're just doing what banks do, just more efficiently. When you're evaluating a borrower, you look at these 4 things. Number 1, cash flow. Can the business consistently cover the payments that's owed? Number 2, profit margins. Is there room to absorb the interest payment that's owed without feeling that strain? Number 3, debt levels. Are they over leveraged, meaning do they have too much outside debt? And number 4, character. Does the owner have a strong track record and transparency? Due diligence, research, and strategy is everything. You can't just trust the pitch. You need to verify everything because the goal isn't just to lend. It's to lend wisely. And since I work in banking, we're the finance team that supports the underwriters for other small businesses. And at Money Talks Media, we have built-in financial models that help businesses with financial planning. So if you need help with your financials, hit us up at our contact email that's in the description. But I know this financial breakdown is helping you see money differently in the first place. So what you can do is privately like and subscribe to Money Talks Media, because in this channel, you're gonna know about asset classes that no one else on YouTube talks about. And if they talk about it, they don't break it down like we do. But either way, if you choose not to commit, just stay consistent in your journey and you will make it to the top. All right, back into the steps. Step number 3, structuring the loan. Once you've found a qualified buyer, your next step is to structure the deal so that you can protect yourself. There are 2 main types of loans, secured and unsecured. Secured are backed by collateral. Think about business equipment, property, or even inventory. And then there are unsecured loans. These are purely based on the borrower's creditworthiness and also cash flow. Interest rates can range between 8 to 20% depending on the risk and duration of the loan. And if you're the business owner that's borrowing, that can be very high and minimize a lot of profits and also cash flow. Most private loans can run between 6 to 24 months. It's short enough to limit exposure, but long enough to generate meaningful returns. But here's the thing, you must work with your legal team in order for this to work. Have legally binding promissory notes that's signed by both parties. No handshake deals, no taking them out to dinner and word of mouth. You must put everything on paper and in writing because documentation is your insurance policy. Private lenders always structure the deal so if things go sideways, their capital stays protected. Step number 4, managing risk the right way. Private lending isn't about avoiding risk, it's about managing it appropriately. The best investors spread their capital across multiple different types of businesses versus relying on one borrower. That way, if one deal underperforms, the others balances it out. But also within the structure to minimize risk for borrowers, they do require collateral and personal guarantees. And by having this set in place, it secures the payments and then reduces the odds of it not getting paid back. And they also stay in constant communication with borrowers. So what I would do is I would schedule monthly calls with the borrower to review financials, monitor performance, and then talk about potential issues before they come up. It's hands-off from a cash flow perspective, but it's hands-on from a mindset perspective. You protect your principal first, and then you protect your profits. That's what separates real lenders from people who just chase yields. Now we're wrapping this up with the final step. Step number 5. Maximizing returns and growing opportunity. Once you've mastered small deals, there's another opportunity. Equity participation. And equity participation just means that you own a very small percentage of the company and you earn interest and upside when the company grows or sells. And some private lenders negotiate small equity stakes for flexible loan terms. And while others just take the interest income that they're making from the small businesses and invest it in other capital deployments. And those deployments compound faster than traditional investments. Private lending doesn't just build income, it builds influence. You're not just earning interest, you're helping other entrepreneurs scale their vision while you're building your wealth too. And that right there, my friend, is where your financial freedom starts because your money funds impact and income at the same time. But I can't forget about some tips for the beginners, so listen up. If you're new to private lending, start small and learn the process before scaling. Number 1, work with professionals. Use a lawyer or advisor that's familiar with lending contracts. Number 2, vet platforms. Consider peer-to-peer or private business funding networks. Number 3, understand liquidity. Your money will be tied up for the long term, so only use money that you don't need for the short term. What I'm basically saying is don't use your emergency fund to invest in private lending. And number 4, reinvest strategically. Compound interest only works best when you have your capital sitting in safe, verified deals. You don't need a bank to lend like one. You just need the discipline and education to do it safely. And when you approach it with strategy and structure, this becomes one of the safest ways to build consistent income safely. And by building consistent income safely, this turns into long-term wealth that builds into financial freedom. Because the truth is, when people understand how money flows, they don't just earn from it, they control it. And at Money Talks Media, you will learn how money flows and how to control your personal and business finances. But take care. Thanks for staying connected. I'll see you in the next one.